Okay, and then in problem number 11, we are doing repeated multiplication of a binomial. So remember, the first thing I always like to do is say, you know what, you're really just multiplying it by itself 3 times. So that's what we'll do. We have to first start by foiling our first two, and then we'll come back to that third one. So when we FOIL, we multiply our firsts. 3x times 3x gets us 9x squared. Our outsides, 3x times negative 5 minus 15x, and that's the same thing we get for our insides. And then our last minus 5 gets us a plus 25. Now, don't forget that we can reduce before we take the time to multiply by that last binomial. So really, we've got 9x squared minus 30x plus 25, and we're taking that times 3x minus 5. So we just do triple distribution from here. 9x squared times 3x gets us a 27x to the third. We're adding those exponents. 9x squared times negative 5 minus 45x squared. Next, we take negative 30x times 3x. Negative 30 times 3 would give us minus 90, and then x times x squared. Negative 30x times negative 5 plus 150x. And then lastly, we're taking 25 times 3x plus 75x. 25 times 5 minus 125. And we combine our like terms. So we have 27x cubed, nothing combines with that, minus 45 minus 90 minus 135x squared, 150x, 75x, 225x, and then minus 125. Final answer. Number 12, it doesn't tell us how they want us to do that division, but since we are dividing by a linear binomial, right, so x minus something or x plus something, we can go ahead and do synthetic division. So we're going to put a positive 4 in the box. Remember, it's always the opposite sign. Or you can say, well, I'm setting it equal to 0 and solving for x. Either way, positive 4 in the box. And then I always make sure x cubed, x squared, x and our constant. And our coefficient of x cubed is 3. Coefficient of x squared is negative 14, 6, and then negative 22. When we do synthetic division, we bring down that 3 and we multiply. 4 times 3, we get 12. We add negative 2. 4 times negative 2, negative 8. 16 plus a negative 8 gives us a positive 8. 4 times 8 is positive 32. Looks like we've got a remainder of 10. And then we always lose 1 degree. So I started with an x cubed, so that brings me down to an x squared. And then x squared, x and constant. Don't forget about your remainder. So our final answer, 3x squared minus 2x, and then that's a positive 8. Your remainder goes as your numerator with whatever you were dividing by, x minus 4, as the denominator. And then 14 and 15, we are now working backwards. We are factoring. So this one, I first looked for a GCF. I don't have one, but I see that I have 8 and 27. Those should ring bells because those are both perfect cubic numbers. So we are going to use our SOAP pattern here. Our A value, remember, is the cubed root of your first term. So that's going to be 2x for us. And our B is the cubed root of our second term, which is just 3. Setting up our parentheses, it always goes A and then B. A squared, AB, B squared. So A and then B. A squared, don't forget, oopsies, that you have to distribute it. So it's going to be 4x squared. Multiplying A times B, 2x times 3 is 6x. B squared would give us a 9. It is our signs that follow the SOAP pattern. So it's the same sign, the opposite sign, and always positive. And we're done. In number 15, we have a quadratic like polynomial. So we are going to solve this one, factor it using synthetic substitution, or u substitution, So we always let u be equal to our variable to whatever degree is in our middle term. So u is going to be x squared in this case. So I can rewrite this first guy as u squared plus 5u minus 6. From here, when we set up our parentheses, we want u and u. We need two numbers that multiply to give me 6 and subtract to give me 5. That's going to be 6 and 1. Our signs are different. Our bigger number is positive. U plus 6, u minus 1. Lastly, you throw your x squared back in for your u's. So you have x squared plus 6, x squared minus 1 But from here, x squared minus 1, we have a difference of 2 squares. We have dots. X squared plus 6 can't be simplified anymore, but that second guy is going to be x minus 1 and x plus 1. There's our fully factored answer.